Salvete omnes. This is Abbey Latin Liber Primus, Review 3, chapters 9 through 12. This is the parsing Latin to English exercise, exercise G. Sententia prima, number 1. Cras frater naviga trans mare ad patriam nostram. So we start with cras. It's an adverb, meaning tomorrow. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off for tomorrow. Do it hodie, today. As an adverb, it modifies the verb. It tells us when the action will happen. It will happen tomorrow. Notice the punctuation that English helpfully gives us. Comma, comma, offsetting the frater from frater, fratres, masculine, meaning brother. Now, this may look like the nominative, but you can tell by the commas, by the punctuation, that we are directly addressing this frater. We are calling this frater by title, by name. We are saying brother. Vocative, singular. This is the vocative showing direct address, frater. The only time the vocative is different from the nominative is if you have a second declension masculine noun ending in us, like amicus. The vocative ends in e, amice. Or if you have a second declension masculine noun ending in ius, like Antonius, that will be Antoni, ends in an I, the letter I. Filius, the vocative is fili, F-I-L-I. So we're calling brother by name. Next word, naviga, comes from navigo, navigare, navigavi, navigatus, which means to sail. This is the second person singular present active imperative mood. It is imperative mood. It's not an indicative mood. This is not a declarative. This is an imperative command. It's not indicative. It's not fact. We are ordering frater, the brother, to sail, and we're telling him to do it tomorrow. Trans, accusative trand, takes the accusative, means across or beyond. And the noun it goes with is mare, maris, neuter, sea. Now, mare is a third declension neuter noun. Is it an I stem? Every time you get a third declension noun, you should ask yourself if it's an I stem or not. So the neuter third declension I stem rule is if it ends in the letter A, the letter E, like mare, it's an I stem. Also AL, like animal, or AR, like exemplar. So the declension of mare is going to be mare, maris, mari, mare, mari. Maria, marium, maribus, maria, maribus. Because it's a third declension neuter, this is the nominative form. It could also be the accusative form, and it is accusative singular because it's working with the preposition trans. Trans mare, across the sea, beyond the sea. Sail across the sea tomorrow, brother. Ad, we're going towards. Ad means to or towards. Takes the accusative case, showing motion towards. And we are going towards patriam. Here's our noun, patria I feminine, meaning the fatherland, native land, country. Patriam is the accusative singular, and it is showing motion towards with the preposition ad. So we're going towards the country. And then nostrum, from noster, nostra, nostrum, meaning our, belonging to us. That is the accusative singular feminine form. As an adjective, it is modifying the noun patriam, showing to, towards, our country, our homeland. So altogether, we could say, brother, sail across the sea to our country. Optime, very well done. Secunda, sententia secunda. Post proelium milites cum celeritate ad casra arma portaverent. Post, preposition, post meaning after, can also mean behind. So after if it's temporal, showing time, behind if it's spatial, showing space or location. Either way, the preposition takes the accusative case. Proilium, from proilium e neuter, meaning a battle. It's a second declension neuter noun. Proilium is either the nominative, in which case it's nominative singular and will show the subject, or it will be accusative, and it is accusative because it is working with the preposition post, which takes the accusative. Post proilium, after the battle. So post is going to be used temporally, meaning time, after the battle, showing when. This action we're about to talk about, it happened after the battle. Post proilium. Milites, from miles, milites, masculine. It's a third declension masculine. Is it an I stem? And it is not an I stem. Milites, either nominative, in which case it will be the subject, or accusative, in which case it'll be the direct object. There's no preposition in front of it. The preposition post goes with proilium, not with milites. So it would be the direct object if it were accusative. Good chance it's nominative though. Cum, preposition cum means with, and it takes the ablative, always and only takes the ablative. It will show either accompaniment, and that's usually a person or a thing with in the company of which you're doing something. Ablative of manner will be used to show, it's almost adverbial, in what manner, how the action occurred. So it will be used cum with abstract things, like with speed, with love, with hate. Cum celeritate, so celeritas, celeritatis, feminine. Speed, swiftness. So we are cum celeritate, ablative of manner, with speed, with swiftness, with haste. And it's almost adverbial. It's going to go with the verb. It shows how the action, how the verb goes. It goes cum celeritate, with speed, with haste. Ad, preposition ad means to or towards, takes the accusative case. Castra, from castra orum, always neuter, always plural. Because it's always neuter and always plural, it only has 5 forms. And those 5 forms are castra, castrorum, castris, castra, castris. Ad castra, ad plus the accusative, castra being the accusative, motion towards. So we are going towards the camp. Arma, arma, orum, always neuter, always plural, like castra. So it only has 5 forms. Arma, armorum, armis, arma, armis. It's either the nominative, showing the subject, or accusative, showing the direct object. The preposition ad goes with castra, not with arma. So we have either the soldiers being the subject, if it's nominative, or the direct object, if it's accusative, or the arma is the subject in the nominative case, or the direct object in the accusative case. So either the soldiers are going to do something to the arma, the weapons, or the arma, the weapons, are going to do something to the soldiers. I wonder what. Portaverent. Porto, portare, portavi, portatus, to carry, portaverent. Porta was the perfect stem, and then you add errant. Errant being the third person plural, future perfect, active indicative. They will have carried. They will have carried. So either the soldiers will have carried the weapons, or the weapons will have carried the soldiers. It's probably going to be the soldiers. What? Yes, the soldiers as the nominative plural subject. After the battle, the soldiers will have carried, and what shall they have carried? The direct object arma, the weapons. How will they have done that? Cum celeritate, with haste, with speed. And in which direction? Whither? Towards where? Ad castra, to the camp. After the battle, the soldiers will have carried their weapons, their arms, their armor, to the camp with haste, with speed. Tertia, sententia tertia. Nomemne novum nostro regi dederat populus. Nomemne, great word. So it's nomen plus ne. Ne indicates a question. So this is an interrogative. We're asking a question where we are expecting the answer to be a neutral yes or no, and we're not trying to influence the answer in any sort of way. The important operative word is nomen. Nomen, nominus, neuter. So something about a name. It's either the nominative, where is the subject, or the accusative, direct object. There's no preposition preceding it, showing motion towards. So something about a name. Novum, from novus aum, new. It can also mean young. It can also mean strange or unusual. So novum, from novus aum, this could either be accusative singular masculine, or it could be nominative or accusative singular neuter. Could it agree with nomen? It could. Indeed, it could. Nomen is neuter. Novum could be neuter. Both could be nominative. Both could be accusative singular. Nostro, from noster, nostra, nostrum, meaning our, belonging to us. Nostro is either the dative or ablative singular, masculine or neuter. Nostro. Don't really know much about that yet. Regi, from rex, regis, masculine, meaning king. So regi, that's the dative. First off, rex, third declension masculine, is it an I stem? And it is not an I stem. Though its nominative is monosyllabic, its stem, reg, R-E-G, does not end in two consonants, like the rule says it has to be. The stem ends in E and G, and E is a vowel, not a consonant. So the genitive plural is regum. This, however, regi, is the dative singular. So, to the king. Nostro could be dative singular masculine to agree with regi, to our king. Reason for dative indirect object, to our king. Dederat, from dodare dedidatus, to give. Dederat, dead is the perfect stem of the verb, third principal part minus I, dead, and then erat, pluperfect, from eram, eras, erat, eramus, eratis, erant. So this is the third person singular. Pluperfect active indicative. So he, she, it had given. So the subject is he, she, it had given. Could the new name be the subject? The new name had given to our king? Doesn't sound quite right, but some nominative subject, third person singular, like populace could be the subject, and there we go. Populace e masculine, a people, a tribe, a race, a nation. So we have populace is our nominative subject. Subject is the thing that does the verb. The people had given to our king a new name. The people had given a new name to our king. Now remember, this is a question, where the important word is nomen, the name. So a perfectly good and reasonable translation would be, had the people given a new name to our king? But if you want to capture the sense of the Latin, which puts nomen first and gives it the parasitic ne, the enclitic ne, to attach onto it, you could say something like, is it a new name which the people had given to our king? That could also work. Optime, quarta. Post domini mortem servos libera verunt. So post, preposition post, the opposite would be ante. Ante being the antonym of post. Ante meaning before, in front of. Post meaning behind or after. Think AM, ante meridiem, the morning, the before noon, and PM, post meridiem, the afternoon. Domini, from dominus e masculine, lord or master in the sense of ownership. So this is either the genitive singular masculine, showing possession, or the nominative plural masculine, meaning the subject, because dominus e masculine is a second declension masculine. But post goes with the accusative, so it's not after the Lord. Maybe it's post mortem, after the Lord, or I'm sorry, after the Lord's death, after the death, the mors mortis, feminine, death. Accusative, singular feminine, accusative because of the preposition post. After the death of the Lord, after the Lord's death, after the master's death, after the death of the master. Post takes the accusative mortem, and domini, the genitive, possesses the death. Servos, from servus e masculine, slave. Servos, with the os ending, must be accusative, must be plural, and it's masculine. There's no preposition which precedes it, so it's going to show the direct object of the verb liberaverunt, from libero, liberare, liberavi, liberatus, to free, to set free, to liberate. There's the perfect stem, liberav, third principal part minus the letter I, and then you add erunt. This is the third person plural, so they, and it's the perfect tense, active voice, indicative mood. And it's attached to the perfect stem. The perfect tense endings are I, isti, it, imus, istis, erunt. So they freed, they set free, they have freed, they have set free. We don't know who the they are. There's no nominative plural subject. We have servos as the accusative direct object, so they set free the slaves. They set the slaves free post domini mortem, after the death of the master, or you could say after the death of their master. After the death of their master, they set the slaves free. They freed the slaves. Quinta, sententia quinta. Cum diligentia pueri, ambulate cum puellis avia. Cum, preposition, meaning with. Can either be ablative of accompaniment, which you are with someone or something, in the company of someone or something, or it could show the ablative of manner. Manner is almost adverbial, used with abstract things that you really can't touch, like speed, love, care, or diligence. Diligentia. Diligentia, I, feminine. Care, diligence. It's like attention. It's ablative, singular feminine, to work with the cum. So it's not with accompaniment. You're not in the company of diligence, unless you're in some sort of allegorical work. But ablative of manner. In the manner of. Shows how the action of the verb was carried out. With care, with diligence. You can say carefully, diligently, with attention, attentively. Pueri, notice the commas. Thank you, English editor. Notice the commas. Because this word is offset by commas, what looks like the nominative plural subject of puer, pueri, masculine, boy, is the vocative plural. We are addressing the boys by what they are. Boys. We are saying boys, comma, do something. Ambulate. From ambulo, ambulare, ambulavi, ambulatus, to walk. Walking is an intransitive verb. That means it does not take an accusative direct object. It takes, it's an intransitive verb, and then it takes a preposition. You got to walk toward, you can walk away from something. Preposition plus the ablative of separation. Or you can walk towards somewhere. Odd, and that would be odd plus the accusative, motion towards. So walk. Ambulate, that's the plural imperative mood. Ambula would be the singular. Add the te, ambulate, to get the plural imperative. And you're ordering these pueri, these boys, to walk. Walk, boys, boys, comma, walk. How? In what way? Cum diligentia, with diligence, with care. Cum puellis, another use of the word cum. This is cum with, either accompaniment or manner. Cum diligentia was ablative of manner. This is ablative of accompaniment. because we are walking with the girls, in the company of the girls. Ambulate cum puellis, walk with the girls, in the company of the girls. How? In what way? Cum diligentia, with care, boys. A via, and we are leaving from the via. A ab, preposition taking the ablative to show separation, movement away from the via, I feminine, the road, the street, the way. Ablative singular feminine, we're moving away from the road. Walk with the girls away from the road with care, boys. Boys, walk with the girls from the road with care. Sexta, sententia sexta. Imperator cum militibus castra hostium de monte alto spectabat. So imperator, from imperator, imperatoris masculine. It's a third declension masculine. Is it an I stem? It is not. Doesn't follow any of the I stem rules. So the genitive plural will be a regular old imperatorum. Imperator, nominative, singular, masculine, must be the subject of our sentence because it's in the nominative case. The general, the commander, the command, imperator, commander, is going to be doing the action of the verb. Cum, preposition with, can take ablative of accompaniment or the ablative of manner to show how an action is done. Militibus, from miles, militis, masculine soldier. So this is not going to be an ablative of manner, but an ablative of accompaniment, because we are with soldiers, in the company of soldiers. This is ablative plural masculine accompaniment with the preposition cum. Casra, from casra, orum, always neuter, always plural, camp. So casra could either be the nominative, well, can't be nominative because imperator is nominative. We don't have an et or a conjunction to show that we could have another nominative. So castra, this is probably pretty much going to be the accusative direct object. No preposition precedes it. Cum goes with militibus. So castra is just going to be the direct object, accusative case. Hostium, from hostis, hostis, masculine, a public enemy. In the plural, it's the enemy, and it's enemy of the state. Is it an I stem? Indeed it is. Its nominative ends in is, hostis, and its genitive, and it's perisyllabic with the genitive. Both are two syllables. Hostis, and the genitive is hostis. That makes its genitive plural, ium, ium, hostium. And here it is, hostium, genitive, plural, masculine, possession. So the enemy are possessing the camp of the enemy, plural, the enemy. Now we could also say the enemy camp. De, preposition de, meaning down from, could mean away from, could also mean about or concerning, but it always takes the ablative, like monte, from mons, montes, masculine, mountain, or hill, or mount. This is the ablative, singular, masculine form. Is mons, montes a third declension masculine in I stem? Indeed it is. It actually follows two of the I stem rules. It only needs to follow one. First off, the easy one, its stem ends in nt. Mont, M-O-N-T. So it's an I stem, montium. That makes it an I stem. The other rule, the more difficult one, is that its nominative is monosyllabic and that its noun stem ends in two consonants, nt. Its nominative is mons, one syllable, nt is its stem. So its genitive plural, like hostium, would be montium, ium. This is the ablative, monte. If you're wondering, wait, isn't the ablative singular supposed to be in the letter I? If it's an I stem, like, shouldn't it be monti? No, that only works if the noun is a neuter I stem, like animal, or mare, or exemplar. The masculine feminine I stems, their ablative singulars are still the letter E, like monte. De monte, down from the mountain. Going down from the mountain, which is alto, from altus aum, tall, high. Can also mean deep, if we're talking about like a river or something. But here we're talking about height, because it's a mountain. So alto, this is either the dative or the ablative. It's probably going to be ablative singular masculine to agree with the ablative singular masculine at monte, de monte alto, down from the high mountain, spectabat. From specto, spectare, spectavi, spectatus, to look at. This is the third person singular, imperfect, active indicative. So he, she, it was looking down. Well, down from the tall mountain. He, she, it was looking at the castra hostium, the camp of the enemy camp. The castra of the enemy, belonging to the enemy, down from the tall mountain. And who did that? That was the imperator. And he did it with his soldiers. So the commander, the general, was looking at the camp of the enemy camp, down from the tall mountain with his soldiers. Optime. Sententia septima. Consul panem multis civibus in urbe heri dedit. Oh, how nice for him. Consul. Consulus masculine means consul. This is the nominative singular masculine. It's a third declension masculine. Is it an I stem? It is not. Not an I stem. The genitive plural, regular old consulum. This is the nominative singular masculine, consul. It's the subject of our verb. Panem, from panis, masculine, bread. It's a third declension masculine. Is it an I stem? It is an I stem. The nominative ends in is, panis, and it is perisyllabic with its genitive, panis. They have the same number of syllables. Panis, 2 syllables, panis, 2 syllables. That makes the genitive plural panium, I-U-M. But we don't have that here. We have panem, the accusative. It's going to be the accusative, probably going to be the direct object because there's no preposition which precedes it, showing motion towards. It's just going to be the consul did something to bread. Probably ate it or gave it or something like that. Multis, from multisaum. Much, plural, many. This is either the dative or ablative plural. Could be any gender, masculine, feminine, or neuter. And it probably agrees with civibus. Civibus. You can write common. It's masculine or feminine. Usually shows up as masculine. And it's dative or ablative plural. Civibus, that ibus ending sticks out. Dative or ablative plural. You can put masculine or feminine. You can write common. But it agrees with, or multis agrees with it. So many citizens, either the ablative or the dative. In plus the accusative would show motion towards, into, or onto, but in plus the ablative shows location, in or on. In plus the ablative urbe, we are in the orbs, orbis feminine, in the city. Ablative singular feminine, in the city. Is orbs an I stem? Indeed it is. Orbs, orbis feminine, third declension feminine. It's an I stem because it has a monosyllabic nominative, orbs, and its stem, urb, when you take off the is of the genitive, ends in 2 consonants, r and b, urb. That makes its genitive plural, I-U-M, urbium. Now that doesn't make its ablative singular, the letter I. That only happens if the noun is a third declension neuter I stem. Urbe keeps the E, like monte. Heri is an adverb meaning yesterday, and it modifies the verb. Dedit, do dare dedidatus, to give. Dedit, perfect stem dead, plus it, perfect endings are e isti it, there it is, imus istis erat, so third person singular, dedit. He, she, it gave, they gave something heri yesterday, because adverbs modify the verb, or adjectives, or other adverbs. Yesterday, he, she, it gave. Who gave? Well, the nominative consul. The consul yesterday gave. What did he give? The direct object. Panem, bread. To whom? Dative, indirect object. Multis civibus, to many citizens. Where? In the city. Ablative of location. The consul gave bread to many citizens in the city yesterday. Octava, sententia octava. Ubi erant mea soror, noster pater ac mater. Ubi, where or when, can also be used as an interrogative, like it is here. Thanks, question mark. So where or when. Erant, third person plural, imperfect active indicative of sum esse fui futurus. So if we are working with the form of sum, we cannot have an accusative direct object. That's not allowed. We're looking for a nominative subject and some sort of predicate, probably a predicate nominative. Doesn't have to be, though. So where were they? Could be when were they, but probably was where were they. Mea soror, comma here, offset by commas. We are addressing in the vocative, direct address. Mea soror, meo saum. Mea agrees with soror. Soror is feminine, which is a third declension feminine, but not an I stem. Remember that the vocative of meos, the masculine meos, is me, mi. But the vocative of mea is mea. The vocative of meum is meum. It's only the vocative meos that changes to me. So the vocative of meos amicus would be mi amicae. So mea soror, my sister. Noster pater ac mater. Noster, nostra, nostrum, our belonging to us, agrees with pater. Pater, patris, masculine, father. Ac. Ac is, also shows up as atque if the next word were a vowel. This is a souped up form of et. So if et went to the gym every day, and this means and also, and even I dare say, not just only this, but also mater. Mater, matris, feminine, mother. So we have noster, pater, ac, mater. Where were they? Where were our father and mother, my sister? Where were they? My sister, comma. Where were our father and mother? So noster pater, pater is subject, mater is also subject. We have a conjunction linking them. They're the subject of the linking verb erant. We're asking where were they? Nona, pacem semper amant duces boni. Pacem, pax pacis feminine, peace. This is the accusative singular feminine, going to be the direct object. No preposition precedes it, showing motion towards. Direct object of the verb. Semper, adverb, meaning always, forever. You'll modify the verb. Amant, amo, amare, amavi, amatus, to love. Amant, there's the present stem ama plus unt, third person plural, they love. Present tense, active voice, indicative mood. Always they love peace. They always love peace. They love peace when? Adverb, semper, forever. Duces, from dux, ducis, masculine, meaning a leader. Is it, as a third declension masculine, is it an I stem? And it is not. Non-I stem. It does have a monosyllabic nominative, dux, but its stem does not end in two consonants. Ends in U and C when you take off the IS of the genitive singular. And U is a vowel. So duces is either the nominative or the accusative plural masculine. Now, we already have a direct object in the accusative, and that would be another direct object. We don't have a linking verb. Or I'm sorry, we don't have a linking verb. We don't have a conjunction. We don't have a conjunction linking this direct object with this direct object. So this is a good chance this is our nominative subject. So leaders always love peace. But notice that the leaders are boni, good. Bonus good. Either the genitive singular masculine, but it's going to be nominative plural masculine to modify the nominative plural masculine duces. Good leaders always love peace. It is peace which good leaders always love. Emphasis on the pacem, the peace, and on the boni. And decima, sententia decima. Pulchra saepe sunt multa animalia in mari. Pulchra, from pulcher, pulchra, pulchrum, beautiful, noble, or fine. Pulchra, it's either going to be the nominative singular feminine, it's an adjective, and I do note that we have a linking verb here, so we're not going to have an accusative direct object. We can't have that, so either nominative singular feminine or nominative plural neuter. If we have a linking verb, we're going to be looking for a nominative subject and some sort of predicate, because you have to have a subject and a predicate. And the predicate is usually going to contain a predicate nominative. Saipe. Saipe is an adverb, so it's going to modify the verb, the linking verb sunt. It means often or oft. Often they are. Pulchra. Often they are beautiful. Sunt, third person plural, present active indicative to be. So they are. Sum es est. Sumus estis sunt. They are. Something are pretty. Some things are often pretty. Multa, from multus aun, many, much, plural, many. Looks like it agrees with pulchra. Both could be nominatives, well, singular feminine, although that would be kind of weird. Much something. Probably more nominative plural neuter. Animalia. There we go. From animal, animalis, neuter, animal. Nominative plural neuter. Remember, we cannot have an accusative direct object if we have a linking verb. So animalia must be nominative subject. Many animals, our subject, are often beautiful. And those are animals located where? In mari. In plus the accusative would show motion towards, into, or onto, but in plus the ablative shows location in or on. In plus mari, mare, maris, neuter, sea. Is that an I stem? It is an I stem. Its declension is mare, maris, mari, mare, mari. This is the ablative. Maria, marium, maribus, Maria, maribus. This is in mari, in the ablative. Many animals in the sea are often beautiful. Optime, very well done. That concludes syntax exercise G. You are now ready for syntax exercise H, parsing English sentences and turning them into Latin. Valete omnes.